What's good, everybody? Welcome to Melanated Mastermind. It's my show where we bring together like-minded African-American individuals who are on a path to doing their business, and we want to get it to the masses of the world. So today we got a special guest. This is my brother. This is actually my best friend, Evergreen Lawn Renovations, Robbie Duffie. What's going on?
What's going on, brother? Thanks for having me, man. This is a beautiful, beautiful platform you got going, and for real, bro. Thank you for having me, man. Absolutely.
Hey, I appreciate it, bro. And it wouldn't be right without having you. You know, we should have been did it. I mean, we could tell the people how you came to Charlotte and didn't come see me. But, but I know you got daughters, man. You got to take them to see family and all that. So I ain't gonna hold it against you.
Yeah, I've been ripping and running, man. So charge it to my head, not my heart, baby. You know how that goes.
I know, brother. So let's get into it, man. How'd you get started in landscaping?
So I got started in landscaping back in 2012. I had came across a job, well, a company out in Cary, by the name of Southern Garden, and they actually, when I went and interviewed for the job, I didn't have a driver's license at the time. So whenever I went and interviewed at the job, the only position that was open was a laborer. And they said, well, hey, man, we can't, you don't have a license. We can't pay you but $8.50 an hour. So I was like, I really didn't hesitate because at the time I hadn't known anything. You know what I mean? I didn't have a trade. I didn't have anything. So I just took it upon myself like, all right, boom, I'm going to accept this $8.50 and I'm going to just get the ball rolling. And that's kind of how it started, man. And they introduced me to everything, whether it was, installing plants, trees, sod installations, hardscapes. I mean, pretty much the full gamut of the landscape industry is what they actually introduced me to, man. So that was a beautiful thing.
Okay, so you said 2012.
2012, yep.
2012. So you just had the idea, like, man, I want to get into landscaping, or was you like, I need a job? Well, which one was it?
Yeah, it was basically I need a job. You know what I mean? And I've always enjoyed outdoors. I've always enjoyed outside. You know what I mean? And it was kind of like looking back on it. It was a blessing because it gave me an opportunity to learn something that I had no idea. It gave me an opportunity to learn a trade in which I had no prior experience in. And as I continued to progress in the company, I started off as a laborer, and within 6 months, the lady, Miss Connie Joyce, she loved me so much, and they saw that I was reliable, came to work every day, I worked hard, and they actually promoted me to being a junior estimator. So whenever they promoted me to being a junior estimator, I actually learned how to read commercial documents, blueprints, civil documents, grading plans, and the whole nine. So that actually, it took me from what I was saying earlier, where I learned the actual trade, but now they taught me the actual business side. They taught me how I need to be pricing jobs, how I need to, submit bids, and so on and so forth. So whenever they finally opened my eyes to that, I said, well, I sat back and, one day I just kind of had an epiphany, and I was like, well, I'm seeing you guys bidding $200,000 jobs or you guys bidding jobs, and y'all you're selling like 5 million. You're not making 5 million, but you're selling 5 million. I guarantee you're going to be profiting over $1 million, $2 million. So and I went to asking the question. I said, well, what did y'all do to get started? You know what I mean? And they was like, well, we just started small, and we worked our way up. And I felt like Black people in general, I could have easily been like, okay, they had put me on salary. I could have easily been like, all right, boom, this is my career, this is my job. I'm gonna take this salary, check every week, and I'm gonna be good. You know what I mean? This is what I'm gonna feed my family off. I could have easily did that, but I instantly went to the mindset of, well, just like y'all did it, I can. What separates y'all from me? I don't think your intellect is on another level than mine, or whatever the case may be. So why should I not,
What makes me not qualify? So what year was that you decided, hey, I'm gonna go from employee to trying to mold myself into the businessman, especially after getting these answers and digging. A lot of people don't dig; they just sit there and work the rest of their life, and would have been fine with it.
Absolutely. I did it for 3 years. So I did the laboring for like 6 months to a year, and then I was actually a junior estimator for 2 years. And basically they trained me. They paid me to train me, man. And I took that knowledge and everything they did, and I had a heart to heart and a sit down, and I told the lady, Miss Connie, and to this day, me and her are I can go to her right now and say, for instance, I was wanting to go back. You know what I mean? And they'll open me with open arms, because she let me know. She let me know a long time ago that I was always one of her favorite. But I went to her and I talked to her, and I said, this is what I'm trying to do, because I want to put my kids through private school, or I want to, you know what I mean? I want a better life for my family. That you're able to give your family, you know what I mean? And just had a heart to heart, man. And she understood where I was coming from. So that's a long answer to 3 years is how long I stayed there. And 2015 is whenever I actually started my company. I started as Duffie's Landscaping, and it evolved into what it is today.
Okay, so in 2015, let's take them down the road. It was Duffie's Landscaping. And what did you step out doing? How hard was it to transition? What were you doing what did Duffie's Landscaping entail?
So Duffie's Landscaping entailed me doing any and everything to, make a buck, man. Whether it was, planting plants, planting trees, mulching, hardscape jobs, the full gamut. It was mostly landscaping though. You know what I mean? Like super hard work, and bidding jobs, and even early on, and years that went by, it's much harder whenever you're playing with other people's money and you're bidding jobs on other people's money. But I didn't really have that structure to be like, okay, well, this job, this job is a $4,000, $5,000 job, so you need to be charging 10,000 or whatever the case may be. I didn't know the profit margins. I didn't know, my markups and the whole nine. So I kind of had to learn all that stuff on the fly, man.
Okay, pause for a second, because we need to let them know. So you're just not out here cutting grass for your daughter's lunch money. Like, what kind of jobs are you doing that are priced to where they're thousands of dollars?
Yeah, so I say, for instance, and I use for example, say I get a side job, right? And the lawn square footage is 10,000 square feet. Well, I know that I'm gonna need 12 pallets of sod to cover that 10,000 square feet. And each pallet of sod is $225, and that's just for material costs, $225. So you would have some jobs in just material costs is $4,000 or $5,000 to do a full renovation. Let's use trees for example. All right, if you get a 2-inch caliper tree, you're going to be paying upwards of $200 to $300 per tree. So if you run across a client that says, hey, I want to redo my landscape. I don't like the way it looks. I want to plant 10 trees, 2-inch caliper trees. I want to plant 30 shrubs, and I want to put out 10 yards of mulch, or stone or French drains or whatever, man. Before you know it, man, you can get upwards in the thousands of dollars, because the material costs, and then your labor, man. Your labor is a big one, and your time that you're actually gonna have on the job, man. All of those things, can add up very quickly. But a lot of young guys, they don't know. Like, they'll take these jobs, and a lot of times they'll lose money on it because they haven't put in for their time to go and pick up the material. All of that money needs to be accounted for. You need to put in your bid. Hey, it takes me an hour to go. It takes me 30 minutes to drive over here and 30 minutes back. Well, you need to be making sure you're accounting for that. You know what I mean? And and the time on the job and so on and forth, equipment rental, so on and so forth, it can add up very quickly if you're not covering all your bases and getting it down to a T prior to you even accepting the job or even taking
So
any deposit or anything for the job.
that's crazy. So you never were like a regular just pushing grass, you know what I'm saying, pushing a mower. You stepped in like with the same mindset that they had at the job that you trained at, like, hey, we can get the jobs that I'm taking are gonna be hundreds of dollars. But I will
Absolutely.
cut grass. But
Absolutely.
were
But I
you
will.
cutting grass for like I know I used to cut grass when I was younger, and I've done a few jobs where I made 300 with my uncle or whatever. But did you ever do like regular landscaping, like, you know, just a mower and
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So, okay. After Duffie's Landscaping, whenever I saw how hard the work was on me, physically on me, I just knew, like, short of you going to hire, you know what I mean, like going to hire a crew of Hispanics to do the actual work, that if you're actually doing the work, that is some of the hardest work you're gonna be doing. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't feasible for me. So then I evolved. Okay, I said, well, let me go from Duffie's. I went from Duffie's Landscaping to Stellar Landscape Design, which was still constituting of some of that same landscape work from Duffie's Landscaping, but it more so started involving, lawn maintenance, where I would just do mowing and, weed control. That's whenever I first started introducing weed control into my arsenal. But it basically, involved maintenance and, trimming shrubs and things like that. And, I enjoyed that as well. So I did that for about a year and a half. I believe it was maybe even 2 years, where it was just maintenance was my only focus. And the reason is it's less labor intensive on you. The profit margins are still great, as far as the volume of clients you can do. And I enjoy taking like bad lawns and the stuff that was overgrown, and then actually like making it look good. And people used to be like, I got really good at doing it. And so yes, to answer your question, yeah, I did do just your regular maintenance, because no matter what, and if people really paid attention, even when this COVID thing hit, people that were doing landscaping and people that were doing yard work as far as lawn maintenance and stuff, they didn't miss a beat. You know what I mean? They didn't miss a beat, bro. And specifically because as long as the sun keeps coming out and the rain falls out the sky, man, somebody's gonna have to mow that grass. That grass is gonna need to be maintained. Your outdoor areas are still gonna need to be maintained. So I think it's important too for Black families and especially, not saying, well, especially like single mothers. If you got a son, Black single moms, if you have a son and you don't think he's interested in going to college, which, okay, that's great if he would like to, but if you don't think he's interested in that, tell that man to get out here and start mowing yards. If he can go and mow 10 yards a day, and if he don't charge nothing but $35 a yard for small yards, depending on the area you are. If he don't mow but 10 yards a day, that's $350. Of course you're gonna have to pay your gas and your equipment, and you're gonna have to keep things up and maintenance and things like that. But all he needs is 10 yards, and that man and that young boy can come out 18 years old with a jump start in life, because he's making $350 a day. And if he's dedicated to the craft and he learns the marketing aspect, and like I said, people are going to always need their yard mowed. That's gonna, until the end of time, until Jesus comes back. People are going to need their yard mowed. You see what I'm saying?
Nah,
So
I love that, bro.
that industry is going to always be there for somebody to be able to, and it don't take a rocket science to mow grass.
Right. Now I have seen people do bad jobs. Like I remember I cut with somebody one time, and my dad taught me. I used to have like grass looking like I just took a do-rag off of it, like, and just push more, because my pops, he taught me well, and we kind of did our thing for a little bit. But let's talk about that some. You were saying, take an 18-year-old kid who doesn't want to go to school. We see a bunch of white guys do it. You know, they have landscaping businesses just like you know, and they're thriving and successful. And you're saying that a young 18-year-old can do the same thing. How hard is it for him to get clients, you know, like to get people where he can do that week from week?
It's not hard in the sense of what the hardest part is if he can be reliable. You know what I mean? If you can do what you say you're gonna do. And the reason I say that is there's so much. The landscape industry in general is a $9 billion a year industry. $9 billion.
I can see that. It's a lot of land out here.
Absolutely, and houses are continuing to be built at an all-time rate. You know what I mean? Right now, so even during COVID, they're still producing houses left and right. So being able to get the clients isn't going to be the big deal. I would recommend any young guy that's starting off, just start off in your neighborhood, wherever you live at. All you got to do is go to your neighborhood and say, hey, I'll do your yard for $25 or whatever the case may be. And you're going to get a lot of people. Well, as you continue to get people and you, like you said, you have to do good work. If you do good work, that's what any industry, I feel, in general. If your work is good or your product is good, your service is good, whatever the case may be, then word of mouth is going to always trump, your actual marketing. Yeah, marketing is you need to do that, but believe it or not, man, just door hangers and me going to it that can be cumbersome. That can be it can be time consuming. But for a young guy that just getting started, I would suggest he go with the door hangers because I've done it. I've seen it work. It actually worked for me, and I was able to get quite a bit of clients off of just door hangers. But as I continue to evolve, I didn't really have the time, so I had to evolve my whole thing. Now the new wave is digital marketing. So if the young boy can come out and teach himself, the digital marketing aspect of it, then that's another thing that he want to do as well.
And I'm sure an 18-year-old today, it's not like when we got out of high school, we weren't privy to YouTube and Facebook and all these things. It probably would have been, I cut grass, for a few weeks. I was like, that's how I got my school clothes for college before we went, I was cutting grass. I had in my neighborhood, my dad, he sent me, he said, go ask them if you can cut their grass, go ask this person. They said you can cut her grass too. And that was an extra couple $100. I had a clientele. But how hard is it, I want to ask you today, from an 18-year-old to a businessman, because your, no pun intended, but your landscape is like way bigger. Like your competitors, you have to go against people. How hard is it to keep a contract, and who are you going?
How hard is it to get contracts or maintain contracts? Is that what you were saying?
Maintain contracts, get contracts, because you're not going door to. I mean, does that? And let the people know. Are you still going door to door? Is that still conducive? You know what I'm saying?
I'm not. I did away with it only because for me and what I got going on, it was too time consuming. You know what I mean? For me to be able to sustain that. So I do all my marketing now digitally now. Facebook, a little bit of Google ads, but majority of running Facebook ads is what I tend to target now. But that's to say that there is still a market for going door to door. You know what I mean? There is still a market. And I even actually went to the post office and did like an EDDM campaign, which basically you just create postcard type mailers, and then you go and drop them off to the U.S. Post Office, and they'll put them, and you select your routes where you want to target. So if you got a nice neighborhood, you want to target this certain neighborhood, you go and drop your flyers off, and the post office will actually put your flyers in everybody's mailbox as they're delivering their routes for that day. So
free
there
game,
are
guys, free game. Huh? I'm telling the people, free game. Nobody knows
free game, man. Free game, man. I mean, and it works. It works for the most part, but it's with anything. You got to have a right offer. If you don't have a good offer, people not going to support. People not going, they're not going to want to reach out. They're not going to want to, to take you on your offer, because again, you're meeting a stranger, or you're marketing to a total stranger. You have to be able to present it in a fashion that's going to get them to actually want to call you and inquire about your services. So that's a long story. That no, I don't do postcards. Will I in the future? Probably so, because like I said, you're still gonna get some people aren't on Facebook. Some people aren't, tech savvy. They're still doing it the old-fashioned way. You know what I mean? So there's people that still look in the yellow pages or a phone book. If we still have phone, I think we still have phone book. There's people that still look in there. You know what I mean? To try to find people, or in a newspaper, or whatever the case may be, man. So there's always still a market for it. You know what I mean? There's always still a use for that type of marketing. But I'm 100% sure, as far as a young boy, yeah, you need to do that. But in the future, I feel like every black business period need to be on the digital marketing on the digital marketing way.
All right, so let's get into a little bit of customer service. Like, how far does customer service take you? Like, what is your one-on-one encounter with each person, and what determines a win and a fail?
So I'll use this as an example. This was like, I believe earlier this year, or it might have been last year. I think it was earlier this year. I went to a client, and this was a nice neighborhood, upscale neighborhood. These people reached out to me and said, "Hey, we want you to come out here. Our lawn is terrible. We have nothing but weeds, and we've tried everything. We've spent thousands of dollars on our lawn, and it still doesn't look good." And so I went out, and I got there to the people, and I just went to talking to them. You know what I mean? Talking to them just like regular people, not me trying to sell them anything, but more so like, how can I help you? Like, this is what we need to do in order for you to achieve your results. And after the conversation, the conversation maybe lasted about 15 minutes on average. That's what my consultations, average, because I've gotten really good at being able to assess what needs to be done, being able to actually put forth a plan for you to renovate your lawn. You know what I mean? To get your lawn looking back, no matter if it's full of weeds or whatever. We can, if we go through this, the process works. If we take it through X, Y, and Z, then this what is the end result, is we'll have a beautiful lawn. So after I got done with that consultation, this lady told me, she said, "I've been with a company, I ain't gonna speak the company name because I don't want to give her no free promo, but she said, I've been with certain company for 5 years. And she said, you have given me more information and you have taught me more in 15 minutes than I have learned in 5 years being with them." And it was kind of mind blowing that she would say that, but it wasn't out of the realm, because I just knew that, you have some people that, okay, they think that their product or their service is superior than anything that's offered out there. But we forget that we need to actually educate, and people are actually, people just want to know. People want to know, like, why this does this, or why, you know what I mean? Like, what's, you know what I mean? Like, the crux of it. And that's what I feel like. And then the lady instantly was like, she instantly was like, "Look, I'm counseling them and I'm signing up with you. And I've been with them for 5 years. I don't care anymore. You know what you're talking about, or I feel like you are the one that can help me." You know what I mean? And then I actually met a guy, and this guy was from New York. This is one of the funniest guys I ever met. But I went in, I had a customer that was next to him. And I guess he had just moved in, or he had just been watching me, and then he had just never, he didn't know how to approach me, but he finally did. And I ended up talking to this guy, and I ended up taking him down the same process. Do you not know that this guy literally went to all his neighbors he was like, man, he was like, look, I don't care what's going on. I want to sign up with you. And he was like, I'm going to go and get you everybody on our street. So this guy literally went and campaigned to everybody on his street. And now I went from having 1 yard on this street to I actually have like 7 in a row. I have 7 in a row, and he's still trying to get me more people, like the whole street. And it's a neighborhood where all the houses are stacked on top of each other. So it might be, 20, 30 houses on this one street. You know what I mean? And but it just came from, the customer service aspect of it, and me, actually informing them and me doing exactly what I say I'm going to do. And when you do that, people will go above and beyond, and you show people, you know what I mean, and you treat people the right way, man. People will go above and beyond, and that's what this guy's been doing for me.
That's one of the best stories. Them in duality, both of those were great stories, and that's like one of the best things about customer service. Would you say that your customer was that 2020?
That was 2020, yeah.
That's 2020. So like, did you know customer service skills would be that important to this business for you in 2012?
I can't say that I did. And the reason is where we come from. Where we come from, like nobody ever like, hey, this is the blueprint of what y'all need. This is super important, more so than anything. And I was of the mindset, as long as you do good work, then that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's what it is. But that is not it. You know what I mean? And customer service, people, and I want to use these people as an example. Chick-fil-A. Why do people love Chick-fil-A? It's because they're customer service. Like people always will go to Chick-fil-A, and even if you know what I mean, even if it's not what they have a taste for, they're gonna go there a lot of times just for the experience. You know what I mean? Just because of the customer service.
Nice. And they're extremely nice.
Absolutely. And I kind of use that, and it's the same kind of principle, man. That and when you go to a place, a business, or a restaurant, or if you buy a service from somebody and you get bad customer service, that's gonna always stick in your brain. You know what I mean? You're gonna
never go back because of how somebody treated you.
Absolutely.
It's like, man, I ain't going back over there. Even if you with other people, I'm not eating there, bro. I came there and they treated me like trash.
Yeah,
and the same thing in your industry.
And look at the trickle down effect when you say that to somebody, and then now all of a sudden they're gonna be like, the next time around, even when they're not with you, they're gonna be like, damn, well, he had a bad experience with him, so I probably don't need to go over there either, because I'm probably gonna have a bad experience as well, even if that ain't the case. But that's what's gonna be programmed in the subconscious mind, that these people right here don't do good work, you know what I mean, or don't have great customer service. So I feel like that is absolutely important.
Yeah, people listen to people. So customer service is like, no matter what people are doing, like customer service is its own form. Like nothing beats word of mouth. It's the fastest traveling promotion that is used worldwide.
Absolutely, and it's free.
It's free.
Exactly. It's going to cost you to advertise. It's going to cost you to get, your customer acquisition is the highest thing that you're going to pay. You're for getting new leads and getting new clients. Your customer acquisition is going to be the highest thing, that one of the highest, things that you have as far as money wise. But when you do get those people and you treat them the right way, and you give great customer service, man, that's going to trickle down, and you're going to get so many more clients for free now because of word of mouth. So it is crucial. It's crucial to any business. Customer service. It's got to be just as, if it's not as important, I feel like it's even more important than what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? Because to be honest, people can have an okay dinner, people can have okay food, or people can have an okay, product or service, but their customer service is great. So people will, people will go back only because of that.
Okay, for sure. I agree with that. And I've seen it work in my favor as well. You know, some people shot with me on my brand just because I'm a nice guy, and that's it.
And that's okay, bro. You know what I mean? And that's absolutely okay. And you know, it's a testament, though. You know what I mean? And I feel like as long as you continue to be in that way and continue to do you and be you, then that's gonna always be the case as well.
All right, so good segment. Let's fast forward a little here. So we went from the beginning, which was 2012, to 2015 to Stellar. So now we're here, correct? To Evergreen.
Correct.
What is Evergreen? What's up with Evergreen? Where we at 2020?
Evergreen is a lawn weed control, fertilization, and just overall health of lawn business. And what that entails is everybody's lawn needs certain things, especially in the Triangle in North Carolina. I mean, in other places as well, but speaking specifically for North Carolina, we have what we call a transition zone, and from the Triangle all the way up to Charlotte, the 704, the whole 704 Charlotte, you know, surrounding areas, we are all in the same climate. Your climate is going to change and it's going to get different as you go towards Asheville in the mountainous regions, and it's going to get different as you go out towards Wilmington and out towards the coast. But in the middle part of North Carolina, it's called the Piedmont zone. And basically we can grow all type of grass. We can grow fescue grass, zoysia grass, Bermuda grass, bluegrass, the full gamut. A lot of places are not like that. A lot of states, a lot of places you go, they can only grow certain grasses. We can grow the full thing. So we're unique in that respect. So what I try to do is I take lawns, whether they're lawns that are healthy and looking good, I keep them that way through proper fertilization, through strict timing with weed control applications, or I can take a lawn that's full of weeds, and I can make that lawn look good again if we go through the process. And that process looks like killing off those existing weeds if we need to seed it, or if you have a Bermuda lawn and we need to sprig it and just continue to fertilize it, we do that as well. And basically it's a 9-application program throughout the year. So for a period of 12 months, and it's broken down in sections. It's broken down in round by round. Early in this, like right now, for yards, they're being aerated and overseeded. Well, come November, you're gonna need to be fertilizing. December and January, you're gonna still need to be doing things to your lawn, but not so much. Come January and February, that's when you wanna be doing your pre-emergent. And that is I wanna just let everybody know. If you have a lot of weeds in your yard, especially like weeds like crabgrass and things like that, it's because you're not doing a pre-emergent application early in the spring. And that is crucial to weeds developing. If you do not do that pre-emergent application and you come June and July and August, your entire lawn will be infested. And it could have been easily, that could have been easily avoided had you put down your pre-emergent early in February. So being able to get those treatments and get them down early is critical in any lawn looking good. Okay, so that's what we've kind of evolved to. We do everything that any and everything that your lawn needs to thrive and be healthy. That's what we do as far as weed control, fertilization, soil testing, lime applications, the whole nine. Because
it sounds like you got a doctor's degree in landscaping, brother. Like, what is the difference here in the 2012 Duffie Landscaping? I know you just broke everything down, but like, how is this more lucrative than Duffie Landscaping, Stellar Landscaping versus Evergreen?
It's more lucrative in the fashion that you cut out a lot of your labor and a lot of your time, a lot of the materials and I don't have to go and purchase 20 yards of mulch and 20 trees and things of that nature. So your profit margins are way higher. only because specifically because of the time that you're spending on each property. Okay. Um, so, but it's not, you're taking one job, say like for the landscaping portion of it, you're taking one job. It might take you 1, 2, 3 days to do a job. You know what I mean? It just, once you get, your client base and you get your routes and, you actually just, you're able to just, you know what I mean? Just knock them out. Then it is by far. And as far as like labor on yourself, like, to, it literally, it's just a bunch of walking, really. You know what I mean? You don't have any of that hard, you know what I mean? That hard physical. I remember times, like literally, bro, whenever I was doing landscaping, I remember times where I would leave in the house at 6 in the morning. I probably wouldn't get home to 8, 9 at night. And I would be dog tired. You know what I mean? Like I would be so tired. Now I can go out and I can do 20, 30 properties, man. And it was just like a normal day. You know what I mean?
You can do 20, 30 properties in a day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Versus how many can you, it's not even possible to do that like in regular landscaping, right?
No, not at all. It's not even it's not not even remotely possible to do that unless you are a multi-million-dollar company and you have 20 or 30 crews and y'all are all, and you send in those crews, yeah. But as far as a small outfit, yeah, it's not even remotely possible. And so don't get me wrong, like landscaping has its purpose. People can make money in landscaping. People can make money in lawn maintenance. But as far as, and I've met multiple owners of landscape companies, and the first thing out their mouth is, hey, this right here, which is, the like weed and feed section, this is the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? Because you have so many other variables with the other stuff, and the profit margins, even though you're gonna make money, the profit margins are nothing like what you'll see doing this.
So how did you learn about lawn maintenance?
I kind of self-taught myself, man, to be honest. It started with me just being in my own yard, and wanting a nice lawn, that my kids can play in. That's kind of what I guess sparked it. I used to always, even back whenever I was with Southern Garden, we used to always do seed jobs and sod jobs. And I used to be like, man, the sod looks great. You just lay it down and you got a perfect lawn. You know what I mean? Now your lawn is just beautiful.
Wait,
and I was just like,
what is sod?
So sod is already ready grass.
Turf?
And basically, yeah, it's cut in either blocks or it can be cut in rows. And basically, what you do is you just take a bare soil, and then you put your soil amendments down, fertilizer, lime, etc. And then you literally just lay the sod out there on the grass, on the bare soil, and you butt it up to each other, kind of like a puzzle. You put it together like a puzzle, and then you just put water on it, and you have a perfect lawn. It's already ready, but it's so expensive. A lot of people don't like. I've had literally jobs, $10,000 side jobs. You know what I mean? But people don't want to spend that money because it's just so expensive, man. It's very, very expensive. There are people that don't want to wait for you to renovate. They don't want to go through the process. They don't want to go 6 months and see their lawn improve. They want instant gratification. They want instant grass. And so that is what sod is for. If people don't want to,
that's a whole different demographic then, like a whole different tax bracket per se, who's buying sod. So is that easy to maintain? Can you like mess that up? Or is that like you put the sod out and now you got good grass? Like I just come cut it, it's growing on its own. I've created a yard on mud for you.
Yes. Yeah. So basically all you have to do to sod is just water it, and then as it grows, just now you got to mow it. That's literally all you have to do. But of course, even with sod, you'll still keep it up. The only advantage from sod to seed is seed, you have to wait a while for it to germinate and for it to grow. Sod, you just have like literally, you can go from a bare soil to a beautiful lawn in one day. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it is. People that have that money that don't care, like I don't care, I want it right now, and let's go ahead and do it. Yeah, people will go that route. And I've met plenty of people that will, but majority of the people aren't trying to spend. It costs you for the same size yard. It's going to cost you $5,000 to side. It's going to cost you maybe $400 or $500 to seed, if that makes sense. So the price difference is astronomical, but you're achieving much, much faster results with sod as opposed to seed. But even with, like I said, again, even with sod, you're still going to have to fertilize it. You're still going to have to, put weed control on it. So a lot of people are like, well, I'll just wait. You know what I mean? I'll just wait because you're still achieving the same results with seed. You're just taking a little bit longer process to get there.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. That is interesting. So if you're selling your business, I do landscaping, and somebody asks an employer who has a landscaping business outside of lawn maintenance, are they going to be stumbled? Like, I want you to come lay sod down.
A lot of people can't. Like a lot of guys, to be honest, like a lot of the just your lawn maintenance guys, like they can mow grass, but they don't know that they need to kill off this grass. Like if somebody wants sod, they need to kill it off. They need to come through. They need to till the lawn up. They need to smooth it out so that there's no like pockets. And then they just need to be able to, roll the sod and be able to stagger it so that your joints match up. A lot of people, just can't do that. And I felt like that was one of the reasons I was able to gain a lot of traction very fast. Is again, going back to Southern Garden, they taught me the full gamut of everything. Not only did I learned lawn maintenance, but they taught me how to lay sod. They taught me how to, do everything I just explained, trees, shrubs, mulch. So I still have even though I've evolved my company, I still have all of that stuff in my arsenal. If that's what if I wanted to go and do that again. So, but a lot of guys, they know how to mow grass. They got equipment, they got a trailer, but you can't send them to go do that. And that's not saying that they can't learn it. I would advise anybody that's in the landscape industry to always be trying to learn and always be trying to add things to your repertoire, because up until now I didn't know anything about mosquito control and irrigation, but now and even landscape lighting. But now I'm starting to add those services as well. I'm adding mosquito control very, very soon. It's already, I'm almost done with it, but I'm just, ironing out a few kinks. But, mosquito control, landscape lighting, and even irrigation repair, all of those things is something that I'm going to be adding to my service for 2021. So I've already had all the experience in the other stuff, but I'm still, I'm steady trying to evolve and get better, because, why would you let people just continue to take advantage of this stuff and get rich off of it, and you're not adding it to your repertoire? If you're not getting better, you get worse. So I would definitely recommend any young boy or anybody in landscaping to continue to get better and try to learn and get better at the things that you don't. You're good at what you do. You can be good at what you do, but always try to be better.
All right. That's good info, bro. This is all you dropping. You giving free game. I got 2 questions. So You just mentioned mosquito control. Does that mean that, I'm gonna ask you both, like, are you certified? Like, can they get certifications in this? And how far will that take you? And I want you to talk about the mosquitoes. Does that mean that no mosquitoes are gonna be in your yard, or?
Yeah, no mosquitoes whatsoever. So you can go outside and you can sit on your patio. Y'all can grill. Y'all can throw stuff on the grill, and you won't have to worry about lighting those citronella candles or people just spraying off and slapping their leg left and right.
That's crazy.
You don't have to worry about none of that, because basically you create a barrier around your property. Even if there's mosquitoes next door, on both sides of you, when you create a barrier, as those mosquitoes come in and land in your property, it kills them. So that way, but this treatment needs to be done, especially during peak season. This treatment needs to be done every 30 to 45 days so that you ensure that, you maintain that barrier, because mosquitoes continue to breed all year long. Well, except for in the wintertime, but creating that barrier and keeping that barrier will absolutely eliminate your mosquito control. Um, as far as being certified, yes, you do need to be a licensed pesticide insecticide applicator. And basically, there's classes that you can go and take. You can go take a 2-day class, and you sit through the class. On the second day, you sit through the class. You'll take the test, and you can have your license that way. There's multiple different categories that you can get certified in, and you can get licensed in. I have 3 categories, but I didn't do it with the class. I just got the manuals, studied the manuals, and then I went and took the exam and passed and got my certification. So to answer your question, yes, you need to be certified, but it's as long as you can read and you can comprehend and you learn the labels, then yeah, it shouldn't be no problem with you want to get your certification.
It definitely is levels to this game. Like that's you just from cutting grass on the block, you know what I'm saying, in neighborhoods to being certified. I don't think people know. A bunch of white guys, they know, I guess, because they're really groomed in this business, that you can go get certifications.
And you know what's crazy is, and I was sitting in the Green and Grow show in Greensboro. They have a Green and Grow show every year for a week. And when I go in there, I mean, it's just not knocking anybody, but it's just a sea of white people. Like there's and this is this is a $9 billion industry. Okay, I just want to make sure that's very clear. It's a $9 billion a year industry. So with that being said, I walk in and you'll see black guys scattered, but for the most part, it's 98% white men and white women. And I say that, so you have to go to these classes and continue to get credits so that you can keep your license and certification. So every year you have to get a certain amount of credits, right? And they offer these credits at the Green and Grow show. I think it's like $200 a year. But you have to do that in order to keep your licenses up. I have a landscape contractor's license as well, which is the hardest license you can get in the state of North Carolina with landscape. So I have to do it for not only for my pesticide license, but I have to do it for my landscape contractor's license as well. But like, there's no black people there. You see what I'm saying? And I equate that to, we are just letting these people get all the money. You see what I'm saying? We're just like, we're not tapping in to a very, very lucrative industry. I don't know why, but every time that I meet somebody, even in Durham, man, I've met a couple young guys, and I've been giving them the game, just because I want to see, us start taking advantage. I want to see us, grow and continue. Like, I want to go in there and eventually I want it to be a quarter, of black people in there, or half, you know what I mean? If we can get it to half, that'd be great. Again, it's 98% predominantly white people that are in this industry and are dominating this industry. But now they finally got to look at me as their equal. They can no longer look at me as, oh, this is just a guy with a truck and trailer or whatever the case may be. Nah, I'm coming for everything that y'all got, because I've had my eyes open, and now I know, exactly what we need to do. So I encourage anybody, especially if you're in the landscape, if you're doing anything in the landscape industry, go ahead and get your licenses, get certified. That way, whenever you go and you talk to people, even when you go and talk to customers, they want to know that. You know what I mean? They need to know that you licensed and certified, because they're going to compare you with the people that are licensed and certified. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's okay to have a hobby. Some people have hobbies. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But to have a legit business and to compete with people that we need to compete with, we all should be licensed and certified.
Do you tell people when you're trying to get contracts? Because this is, I think we got into the meat of the conversation. Do you tell them I'm licensed, like what I'm licensed in, and is that a sales point? Does it change the dynamic of the conversation?
I think, I don't know if it changes the dynamic, but after you explain what it is you offer and your services and things of that nature, I always throw that in there just in case if there's any doubt in their mind. You know what I mean? Like if there's any doubt, okay, well, does this guy really, he sounds like he knows what he's talking about, you know what I mean? But it does he really know what he's talking about? And when you tell him like, hey, I'm fully licensed, I'm certified, and you can actually produce your your numbers, okay, I have a landscape contractor number 1383 or whatever the case may be, then if they had any doubts or any hesitation, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we're good, let's go ahead and believe it or not, I've had plenty of people like, all right, yeah, let's go ahead and sign up, because I have the actual pay, even though it shouldn't be that way, but it is. Even because I have, the paperwork to go with what I'm telling them, then, they'll be more receptive to go ahead and give me a shot and try out my services, as opposed to somebody that's not licensed and certified. And I actually will tell them, hey, you don't just want anybody out here in your lawn. You know what I mean? If we're gonna be honest, like, hey, you don't want just anybody out here in your lawn. They need to be licensed and certified. Because not, and that's not to knock anybody, but it's more so like, hey, I'm doing it the right way. I'm actually studying, I'm actually training, the full gamut, the whole nine. So why would I not? I already got to pay this $200 every year, so why would I not?
Tell yourself, it's kind of like a doctor, somebody who's studying medicine and they actually have their doctorate degree and they're licensed to study medicine. So they carry on, their certifications as well. And then it's not knocking, but it's like, hey, I'm certified versus somebody that might be good. You know what I'm saying? But might have all the knowledge, but it's like, I don't want to come to your house for you to work, to do your stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want you to have this piece of paper, and I know it's status, but hey, status sells.
Absolutely.
I can trust you because you have this piece of paper.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what it, the crux of it. And anybody can reach out to me, anybody, I don't care who, if it's a young boy that's trying to get started, or if it's anybody that already has their business and, they want to learn what do they need to do to get their certifications, or, anything, man. I'm an open book, man. I try to help anybody because I understand the importance of Black people actually being able to take advantage of not only, I've had to take my lumps too, you know what I mean? Like during this whole process, as I was transitioning into each business, I had to invest a lot of money. I had to learn, things that nobody taught me. You know what I mean? I had to learn on the fly. So if I can prevent any like 18-year-old, you know what I mean, or young boy that just getting started in the industry, or even, somebody that's been doing it, but they're starting to see some traction and they're starting to see some growth. Just telling them, the mistakes I made, so they don't have to make it, and we can kind of, jumpstart that and speed past a lot of that. So, and a lot of people ain't like that. Don't get me wrong. I met a ton of people that wouldn't give me no knowledge, or wouldn't give me the game for the. I guess they think, you're gonna compete with them or you're gonna take their money. Whenever people don't really realize that there's so much money. It's like if you took a pebble and threw it in the ocean. You see what I'm saying? We wouldn't even be able to put a dent in the amount of work and the amount of money that's really out here if we all come together and work together as one.
Beautifully said. So how can people contact you, and like where do they need to go to buy packages and customers and people wanting to learn?
Absolutely. So if people go to www.Evergreen Lawn Renovations, you can go on there. You can get some information on, as far as our services goes. But for the most part, it allows you to be able to book a consultation. If you want, if your yard, isn't looking good, or, you're tired of the same old thing, you've been paying a company and you haven't seen improvement, whatever the case may be. Then you can go in there, you can book a free 15-minute consultation. We meet you at your property. We go through exactly what your property needs, because every property is different. You know, you might have, your property might have, you know, a little bit more shade, or you might have a grass type that isn't really conducive for your lawn. So you might need to, you might need to switch that out, you know. So it allows you to be able to book a 15-minute consultation. And I would be remiss if I didn't say that when people get a nice, healthy lawn and they get, you know, a beautiful lawn, it not only does it, in the market that we're in, not only does it add to your property value, but it also, people that are looking to sell their homes, it's gonna allow you to be able to sell your home that much more faster, because you're gonna see people remember whenever they pull up to a property and they have a nice lawn. If you watch DIY, whatever the stuff on TV about, you know, whenever they renovate the homes and things like that, it is a proven fact that a nice lawn will help you sell your property faster, and it improves your property value. So you are, not only are you making a small investment as far as, you know, getting on a program or renovating the lawn, but it's going to pay off big time whenever it's time for you to either sell your property or whatever you know you're going to do with it. Or if your kids want to go outside and play in the lawn barefoot, then, you know, that's also a good thing as well. So yeah, absolutely. Or if you want to give me a call, you can reach us at 919-374-8788. That's our phone number. And again, yeah. So those are the two main ways to get in touch with us.
Okay, nah, great, bro. So lastly, where's Evergreen headed?
Man, Evergreen, to be honest, I would hope to say that we will be one of the major companies in weed and feed for North Carolina. I don't want to just, you know, be local to the Triangle. You know, we're starting to expand into Greensboro right now. We have, you know, Raleigh. We have clients in Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, Apex. We have clients right now in Charlotte, Kannapolis. So I hope, and I'm working to continue to build this company and to make it a statewide company and not just a local company. There's a couple companies. There's only really two companies that are you know, in the full North Carolina. So I want to kind of disrupt what they have going on, because they just been dominating, you know, this industry for years and years. So I'm trying to disrupt what they have going on, and hopefully by 2021, you know, this company will be a household name, and you guys will be seeing, you know, Evergreen trucks in everybody's city. That's the plan and the goal.
Well, game on, brother. I appreciate you. I'm gonna keep you on, but we about to get off of this. And love you, bro, and thank you for the interview. It was one of my favorite ones, if not my favorite. I knew it would be.
Well, you know, it's all love, man. Like, once again, I salute you. I love this platform and what you're doing. This is really beautiful, bro, for not only for you know, us as a people, but, you know, your vision, your creative, you know, your creativity, bro. You've always been that, whether it was no matter whether it was rapping, whether, you know, your clothing line, I mean, the full gamut, bro. So now with this, man, you know, you never cease to amaze me, man. You know what I mean? So I salute you, man. I love it. And for real, keep pushing the issue, because this is something that we not only did we need, but it's beautiful to see, man, and see you bringing all these Black businesses together. It's a beautiful thing, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Peace.
Peace, bro.